How had I fallen? How had I fallen? Beautiful one. How? There are two cherubs that do that job, and the name of only one was mentioned. Lucifer. He knew that Lucifer was going to fall. Let me give you evidence. When he made Michael, he called him Michael. El is his name. Michael. Huh? When he made Gabriel, he called him Gabriel. But Lucifer, he did not seal him with his name. So he will find out that angels are similar to men in one matter. And the matter is that we both possess the will. The will. Sorry, my English is African English. And I don't have any intention to speak the American tone. I'm stuck. Yes, I'm stuck in my ways. So strain your ears and understand what I'm saying, because I'm not about to change it. What I want to change is I need to be more fluent in tongues. But may the Lord give you understanding. So, He created me to be an apostolic teacher. Okay? But that's not all I can become. If you follow these steps I'm going to show you here, you become a creature that God did not create, but a creature that results from iniquity. No one tempted Satan. No one tempted Lucifer. I hope you know the meaning of his name. Lucifer, the light bearer. Oh, let me tell you about that guy. This guy in heaven, he is that cherub that walks up and down, to and fro in the midst of the coals of fire. When he walks in fire, I'm not talking about the fire you know. I'm talking about that fire that the angels took a coal from in the heavens to purge Isaiah's tongue. That's the fire I'm talking about. Do you see how powerful those cherubims, those seraphims were that the Bible described in the book of Isaiah chapter 6? How that with two of their wings they covered their faces so that their identities would be blotted out. I'll tell you why they did that. With two of their wings they covered their feet. And it was with only two wings that they flew. And every time you find seraphims, just know that they are creatures that are designed to protect the holiness of God. Because the back end of glory is holiness. The message of the seraphs was holy, holy, holy is the Lord, for the whole earth is full of his glory. I was expecting that they would say that the whole earth is full of his holiness. But you see, holiness is the back end of glory. And that's why a pastor that is not living right is an impostor. Because you are supposed to traffic in glory. And if you don't have the back end, you lie. May the Lord give you understanding. So, that encounter that Isaiah had was the revelation of God's holiness. And in that revelation, there were seraphs. Are you there? So the cherubs, they protect the glory of God. And the seraphs, they protect the holiness of God. These mighty seraphs, as powerful as they were, could not use their hands to take that coal, the coals of heaven. They couldn't. They had to use an equipment. They had to use an implement to take that coal and then to purge the prophet's tongue. It is that fire that I'm talking about. This cherub, are you there? This cherub called Lucifer could walk on those coals. The seraphs could not touch it with their hands. But this guy was reckoned to be that cherub that walked up and down in the midst of the coals of fire. And when he does that walk, he glows like light. And that's how he earned the name, the light bearer, Lucifer. Stay with me. You are coming back now. I'm seeing. You are coming back. Now listen. This cherub is the same cherub that the Bible, the only cherub in the entire Bible that the scriptures called the guardian cherub. Even though there are two, but it was the only one mentioned. Now, stay with me. How many of you still remember the imagery of the Holy of Holies? The Holy of Holies, as you enter into the Holy of Holies, you are going to see two cherubs, winged creatures, and their wings are opened like this, and they are touching each other, protecting the glory of God. Because if you are proceeding into the temple, the illumination that you have from outside is sunlight. When you enter into the holy place, the illumination you have is the candlelight. And when you proceed into the Holy of Holies, there's no window there. It's a black room. And it is the Shekinah illumination that is emitted from the very essence of God that gives light to that room. That light can kill. So it's an act of mercy that God stations the cherubims so that they will block it, they will filter it, so that a mortal can come into a realm where only spirits should be and survive that realm. I have been privileged before to go a bit close, not too close, a bit, just a bit close. There are dimensions of light, there are dimensions of presence that this your mortal body will eat and you will be sick. Oh, I don't know. Well, you see, most churches I've been to in America, they have a coffee center, a coffee place. So people come to church expecting to take coffee. Brothers and sisters, we will need to go beyond that coffee table. If you will see, say we need a cup of coffee. No. You will need to go beyond appetite to see. If you are not careful and the light shines on you, you might even go blind. I have seen that light. I've hazarded my life for the gospel because I saw that light. There's no reality anywhere here. Your Wall Street, your Manhattan, there's no reality. The yellow taxis of New York, there's no reality here. If you see what I'm talking about, you can even go poor all your life just to save it. So this is Shekinah illumination. That's what gives light to that column, to that place. And the cherubs will need to help you filter the light with their wings so that it dampens if the aspect of it that can affect your mortality. Because you should not, you must not look on him in that glory as a mortal and live. So the cherubs, they help to create a film that blocks the intensity so that you can survive ministering where spirits are. That's how the altar is. Are you there? There's nothing of darkness that can appear there. It will melt instantly under the intensity of this fire. There are two cherubs that do that job, and the name of only one was mentioned, Lucifer. It will interest you to know that he is called the perfection of beauty. That means every archangel is created to reflect an aspect of God's divinity. Okay? Every archangel. What's his name? Michael. Michael means strength. Michael was created as an illustration of God's strength. I've been able to read the chronicles of some major prophets on the continent of Africa, one of which had an encounter with Michael. And when I compare what he says with what the scripture says, I have cause to believe him. And I don't want to go into that because it will create speculations. You may not believe it, so let me spare you those details. But a few of them have spoken about the sight of Michael, strength, that he could not even stand on the ground because he was suspended. The ground might cave in because of the strength that he came with. I know you've not seen strength. What you have seen is the Statue of Liberty. May the Lord help us. Meanwhile, where's the statue? I've been looking for it. I've been here for 1 year. I've not seen the statue. Okay. Femi, you have to advise me on the location of this statue. I need to. Good. If you see the strength of which I speak about the person of Michael, you will not look for the statue of liberty. Strength. If you see him, you don't need a dictionary to know what strength is, because he is strength personified. Every iota of strength is illustrated in that creature called Michael. And God, being an eternal God that knows the end from the beginning, are you there? He knew that Lucifer was going to fall. Let me give you evidence. When he made Michael, he called him Michael. El is his name, God. Michael. Huh? When he made Gabriel, he called him Gabriel. But Lucifer, he did not seal him with his name. And the Lord does what he does so that those that have the heart to be inspired by the Holy Ghost will see the pattern and know what to avoid. Lucifer was not preserved by his name. Meanwhile, he was a perfection of beauty. If you see Lucifer, he's an illustration of beauty. You don't need a dictionary to tell you about beauty, because he was the A to Z of beauty. In fashion, in shape, in style, in comportment, in speech, he was beauty. And the Bible reveals that in him was the workmanship of the tabrets and the pipes. The workmanship of the tabrets and the pipes. If you know anything about music, it is a combination of wind instruments and string instruments. The tabret was the string instrument and the pipe was the wind instrument. So wind and string instruments were built into his framework. He was a person of music. And I need to tell you what informs his tune, his style, his approach. Was not just random music. Of all the angels ever created, he was the only one named the anointed cherub. So what I wanted to show you was that in rank, he was the highest in the angelic world. There was no one like him. He was the only angel that was anointed. So he could come into God's presence and discern God's mood. Then he produces sound that is consistent to his mood. The prophetic was with him. He could see, he could hear, he could perceive, because he had the anointing. So if you find someone, it is because of that priesthood that he knows that, people with divination operate like that. Because he knows the real priesthood. Oh, you're not with me. People that do incantations, people that do that priesthood, that false priesthood. I did not tell us the rules. I am an African preacher, and we sought God under the rain. We sought God under the elements. We are not people of comfort, and we don't need the honor of men. But do not dishonor the Lord where I am. It's a quiet counsel. He was the anointed cherub. He could discern. He could see. He had visions. He had hearing in the spirit. And he had music. You see, music is one of the streams of the prophetic. It's supposed to come out of hearing and sight. And that's why, if you play flat, I know you have no hearing and sight. What you have is skill. I want you to see the majesty of that creature, the majesty of that being, the light bearer. As he shines before the throne, he shines with intensity, then he produces sound, and the presence of God is saturated with a kind of music that darkness cannot penetrate. It is a defense in itself. It's called the guardian cherub. The guardian cherub, a guardian cherub. And there was no angel that had the rank that he had. The height, the perfection of the angelic grace, the height of its perfection, the height of its beauty. For thy tabrets and thy pipes were in thee in the day that thou was created. For thou art the cherub that walked to and fro and up and down in the midst of the stones of fire. No other creature could do that. No other creature could make contact with the fires of heaven, the stones of fire in heaven. No other creature. That's not all about him. So when this Lucifer fell without temptation, Isaiah went into prayer and said, can you tell us how such a beautiful being will fall from glory? And there was no temptation that aided and assisted his fall. In the use of his soul, he went beyond the boundaries of protection, and corruption was factored with him. So as you are now, I want to show you a few things that if you entertain, you will be changed to become a creature God never intended to exist. How many of you are still with me? Please stay with me. I say 40 minutes, 40 minutes. If after 40 minutes you begin to dance, I will dance with you. We'll dance. How art thou fallen, O Lucifer, son of the morning? Hey, how art thou cut down to the ground, thou which didst weaken the nations? Okay, so this second aspect of the reading is difficult to understand. Let me try to explain. So, give us translations beyond King James, New King James, Amplified, Amplified and NIV. How many of you know the difference between NIV and King James? Oh, you don't? Oh, you know? Okay, let's leave it. Yes? Give me other translations. King James is from A to Z, NIV is from Z to A. That's the difference. ESV. Is that what you want to read? CEV. Okay, you can read that. CEV. Meanwhile, what is CEV? No, put it on.
Contemporary English Version.
Okay, please. Tell us what you're reading, because it's strange. All right, go on.
That God Most High gave land to every nation. He assigned a guardian angel to each of them.
Can you hear that? The lands he gave was consistent to the guardian angels, the supervising spirit. And it was through these angels that he ruled, he governed the earth. Think about that first. Before I explain, think about it. I know you have not heard this before. So think about it first. So that is where in the book of Daniel, you have the prince of Persia. The prince of Grecia. So there were princes set over cities, over nations, that governed those nations. You will think that is the male that is governing. Are you there? You will think it's something, it's our vote that is counting. Are you there? So when God wanted to divide the earth into people groups, he assigned a supervising angel over every group. But let me also tell you a story. If those people groups now begin to learn the way of witchcraft, of shamanism, of necromancy, that supervising spirit will become weakened and it will be displaced by a demonic spirit. But whether or not you like it, whether in sin or in righteousness, there must be a supervising spirit. Is that clear? So the Bible reveals that it was this Lucifer, he weakened the nations. He terrorized the nations. So he was one of the governing angels. Did you get that? Now, because you got that, I'm going to show you something. The sons of God are beings that were created by God's direct. God did not speak them into being. Are you there? You are not there. He didn't speak them into being. Let goats be. There was an act of creation before they came into existence. Because there was an aspect of God they were advertising. So these beings are twofold. We have the angelic type, sons of God. Then we now have the human type, sons of God. So I'm going to stop there for now until we come back again. Then I will show you the purpose of creation. It's a 3-day teaching, but I will need your attention for 2 hours each day. Are you still there? All right. So Lucifer numbers among the sons of God. I can tell you how many these sons of God were, but let's leave that. So each geographical location, as carved out by God, had a supervising angel. And so you can now understand when it says, this was the same Lucifer that weakened the nations. This was the same Lucifer that oppressed the territories. Okay? All right. So the question has been asked, how are thou falling from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? Can you go back? How are thou cast to the ground, which did weaken the nations? So the answer begins from verse 13. He said, for thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven. Now notice, stay with me. Are you there? Stay. I will ascend into heaven, meaning he was not in heaven at the time. He was one of those ruling princes. Huh? So he was ascending from the height from whence his throne was domiciled. And he wanted to ascend into heaven. Now, I want to explain why Lucifer said, I will ascend into heaven. So my assignment for this weekend is to explain, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit on the mountain of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will be like the Most High. That's my assignment. Because what we're trying to track is the mind of Lucifer. And I'm supposed to contrast that with the mind of Christ. Then I will now show you the difference. Whereas Lucifer did this, Jesus did this. Lucifer did that, Jesus did that. If you want to become Lucifer, if you want to transform from Abigail to another creature, because we need to look for another name for you, which is not in the lexicon of light. May the Lord give you understanding. May the Lord give you understanding. You can actually you can evolve from who you are now by applying the same principles I want to show you. And then you meet a preacher that is called today. He's burning with fire today, and after 5 years, he has ascended into heaven. He becomes a creature that he was not supposed to be, an abomination. He had embraced corruption in his bosom. He had become something that God did not create. A poisonous herb, a cancer, such that God will need to come down in judgment to crush him. I didn't create this. It's an abomination. You said, me tell you, never there are things you cannot do. So, let's start with number 1. I will ascend into heaven. Why? Okay. So come with me. Before we go, I want to say that the life of a shoe is his soul. I want to say that the life of a house is its foundation. I want to say that the life of a tree are the roots. That's my parable. Before we begin this journey, I will ascend into heaven. Which is know this doctrine better than the believer. But give me time. Let's do Bible study. Go with me to the book of Genesis chapter 2. How had that fallen? Oh, this is not God's will. This is not God's fault. But how was it possible for you to fall, O Lucifer? Say, for thou hast said in thy heart. It means it is the workings of the heart of Lucifer that led to his fall. It means that we need to shine the torchlight to Lucifer's heart to know what to avoid if we don't want to become a mutation. How had I fallen? How had I fallen? Beautiful one. How? How was it possible for you to fall? You were the one that weakened the nations. You were a terror. You could make the rivers roar. How?